I have a very controversial opinion that applies to the highways around here.
I like this.
Let me open it with,
Yeah, I like this.
the county highways are not a playground.
Yeah.
Now people are like, what do you mean? You're on the county
I do
highway all
remember
the
you
time.
saying this at one point, and before you explained yourself, I was like, Ryan, you're crazy
Yeah.
for saying that. But
So people listen to us or hear that and they go, what do you mean you guys are wheeling up and down the highway, this and that, which we don't do that much. The 6 minutes of it is all on video. We ride back and forth to our pit bike track. That's it. But Evan's doing 50 miles an hour under his own power, making noise so you can hear him. And he's also very self-aware of where he's at. Now, you've got Janice, who hops on her 8-speed bike and is biking down the 3/4 of the lane,
Shoulders this
no
big.
flashing light, wearing a black sweatshirt on a silent machine, moving 10 miles an hour. And it's, one,
You're right.
dangerous.
That is more dangerous.
It's incredibly dangerous to Janice, who's on a bike on a live highway where people are obviously texting and driving, not paying attention, focus on the sun, could be blinded by whatever. And then it's also dangerous because Peter, who's driving his car and comes up on Janice, goes, I'm driving 11 on the highway right now. John from the back could come in and run into the car because he's not paying attention. Or you could have to swerve around Janice because you have to pass her. And it could be on a blind corner. I've had it happen in the 40 zone right over here in our neighborhood, which is a slow zone. You're always attentive because there's houses. You're like, all right, I'm going to go around this lady. Some guy comes ripping around the corner,
Yeah,
and
now
you're in the
oncoming
oncoming lane,
yeah.
and you got to swerve back over.
I agree. Cyclists are probably a bigger
well,
nuisance.
and it's because
It's
they
dangerous.
act like
They act
going
like
so
they're a full
slow.
vehicle.
Well, right. I'm not saying they're acting entitled, but they act like, well, I'm biking, so obviously they're gonna get out of my way.
See me.
You know,
I'll say they
whatever.
act entitled. I'll say.
Yeah, they act
Bike-
like yeah.
Cyclists do.
And then
Yeah.
they don't even sometimes they don't even try to get over.
That's what I mean. And I don't really know the rule if you should come in the oncoming lane or the
Yeah, it
the
varies.
behind lane. But like,
Either way.
they're wearing headphones. They're like legitimately
Yeah.
in their own world.
Which is
They
pretty
can't hear
dangerous.
cars. You could be right next to them screaming that you need help, and then there's no one there, because they're just pedaling along. Same with people walking their dogs, stuff like that. The side roads, totally cool. But a county highway, like where you're driving 55 miles an hour, there's
I
trucks.
think they made a South Park episode on this.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure
not
they did.
surprised.
Those guys are just
But
assholes.
it-
They're doing pretty good at adding bike paths, but I believe there should be shoulders to the roads around here.
I do
There
too.
should be a bike lane. Fuck it, they already got all the machines. Make it 5 feet wider. Make it a safe place for people to exercise.
True, with
Because
this
if that's
That
what they
would
want
cost
to do,
a lot
But-
though.
I know, but
Well,
think
what-
about all the people. I saw an accident where like 5 people got injured or killed because they were on the highway.
Damn.
And
kinda
I think that's really sad.
You sparked my thought there because I don't even know how I feel saying this, but I'm like, they proposed doing a sidewalk on our road, and they're doing one in Detroit Lakes right now, and I'm like, this is great. I
Yeah.
love this because we don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm like, this is actually great. I'm like, I feel old saying this, but like, this is great. And then the price comes in. But then you said, just make the shoulder 5 feet wider.
Yeah, like literally, they put the little
Brilliant.
white line on, and the shoulder's like a foot wide. You can't ride a bike down it, like it's too narrow. We try. But if you just made it 2 to 3 feet wide, it's wide enough that Janice can walk her dog too.
Yeah.
You want
and
to know
don't have
something
swerve
though?
over.
Even in the city, these bikers got sidewalks and bike paths. They still ride right down the street.
Well, you can't bike on a
They
sidewalk
still do it.
in the city.
Yeah, I was like, normally then you go into the city and you get in trouble for riding anything besides like rollerblades on a
Yeah.
sidewalk.
My big
Really?
vendetta is just against county highway
Maybe skateboards.
activity goers.
It all costs money, but shoulders should be bigger.
Yeah, I mean they're already redoing
And
the
this
road.
is mostly just to make us feel better about riding on the roads, okay, guys?
I mean the shoulder's already there. It's just gravel right now.
But
You
it
can't
is
use
true. When we get on the roads on our bikes, like 90% of the time we're conscious. And I say that being when we get all hyped up and like Evan's wheeling and I'm trying to film him. Again, 90% of the time I'm conscious, but sometimes we're like, oh shoot, this car was behind us.
Yep.
And we didn't
pull
see
right
it,
over.
and we feel really bad, and that's as far as it can go.
And
but
then we pull over down into the ditch, wave them by. They're able to stay in their lane and continue on
check
their
for
way.
more cars.
Check
yeah.
for more cars, continue on their way.
Yeah,
Janice on her cycle doesn't do that.
doesn't do that. She
We
just
are very
keeps-
careful around here not to inconvenience anyone because we know it's going to just backfire on us. Like we are
right,
over cautious.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, dude, there's a guy on a moped man, fuck moped man, but he
Fuck
just like
moped
drives 20 down the middle of the road, and he does not care. Does not get out of the way.
I'll just say this now. I want to get like, we'll pass him one day. I want to get like a shot of him on a video. And then we can kind of tell the
I think
story.
we start putting
but
him
the
on.
dude, yeah, like the dude, he lives right down the road from us, and we see him 3 times a day, to be honest. Like at least one of us see him a couple times a day, and he's like rides his moped, smokes a dart while riding the moped, which is kind of funny. But he's super
Legendary.
old.
Pretty cool.
Rides like 25.
cool.
Yeah, it's like the only cool thing he's got going for him. And then everyone gets all upset because he's been doing this for years now. And then he also drives like a V6 Mustang.
Not
Not cool, but whatever.
Cigarette on the moped, cool. V6 Mustang, not
cool.
And then I'm like, what if he was smoking a cigarette while driving his Mustang?
No
CJ's
way.
like, pretty cool.
No way. That's not cool.
Ben would
Still
hate it because he
V6.
probably has his window down.
Yeah, so we just got to capture him because he drives really, really slow, and all he does is drive around Cormorant. And if you guys really know, Cormorant is not big, so we see him all the time, and we're kind of like, dude.
Mike, you should just
This
tell
is
him and
guy-
be like, hey,
Well,
don't do that.
recently I
You'd be
started.
good
Don't
at
do
it.
that.
You'd be good at
Recently
doing
I
that.
started heckling him. Nothing crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Mike buzz by.
So
And his
No.
Bronco.
after Ryan, your dad saw him somewhere.
Yeah, that gets really heated. I honestly don't want to bring it up.
Your
Yeah.
dad doesn't like him?
Oh, well, he saw him at like the community center, and he always goes there on his computer, and then he was like being really weird. and,
Uses
like,
the free
closed his
Wi-Fi.
computer. Yeah, always, every day, goes to the community center in Cormorant, uses the free Wi-Fi, and he like was at the inn or something, and he was on his laptop, and he
Doing
walked
Wi-Fi
by, and
there.
he kept like closing it or something.
Like, what the fuck
Just
are you
weird shit.
doing on
Yeah.
my Wi-Fi?
just weird stuff. And then he said that he like might possibly be drunk. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. Dude's
I
kind of
do
slow.
see him at the pub a lot.
Yeah. So
Really?
anyway, I just took it upon myself to finally decide that it was time to start heckling him.
Good.
Honestly, there's no way he hears
Like
this.
he comes by and I'm just like, my bad man.
Dude, I think we all should
And
start.
he literally
I think
just
we
like-
should just tell him like, dude, don't drive down the middle, of the road.
highway.
Like right on the shoulder.
Or at least when a car comes up behind you, you got your little mirrors. Just let him go by, dude. Don't be an asshole.
Maybe that's why he drives his
And I'm-
Mustang so slow. It's not because he has a V6 engine. It's because he's drunk.
He's faded.
That's what I'm saying too. Obviously, like a V6 Mustang could go easily 100.
It's more dangerous to drive a vehicle down the highway at 40 miles per hour than to drive at 80, in my opinion.
true.
Because
'Cause you're
you could be at like
yeah.
the bottom of the hill and you're going so goddamn slow and someone just going 60. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you just start holding stuff up. You disagree?
No. Well, here's my argument. Is
Ben's in
well,
the back
you
going,
you said 60.
I think it's more dangerous to
you
be
said
going
60,
slow on a
so
highway.
like it wasn't horrible, as in like 60 to 40 isn't that crazy? But if you're going 40 or a little slower, but 40, you aren't looking in your rear view mirror constantly. But if you're going 80, you're looking in front of you with your foot
Dial.
ready to go on the brake.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree. I
What
don't
is
know.
your
I'm
attempt?
not looking in my rear view mirror if I'm driving slow AF. Like I'm just
I think
like,
you can get pulled over for driving too slow.
which
you can.
rarely
Yeah,
happens, but
you can because it's honestly dangerous. Like you're supposed to be going this fast.